Welcome to Raise Sensation. I'm your host, Dan, and in this episode, I am going to be taking a look at the roots of one of my favorite new magazines. This is issue 1 of Blab, and it's one of my favorite comics that has come out. It's really a magazine, but it does have comics in it. But it's a fantastic comic that's come out this year, this being 2023. But today, on this episode, I am going to be looking at the roots of Blab. This is issue 1 of volume 1. Okay, let's take a look, shall we? Okay, well, I've already made a whole video talking about how much I love this new premiere issue of Blab. And what a great mix of pop culture and original comics this is. I mean, this is a really, it hits all the right spots for me, and I just think it's a tremendous magazine. I have a whole video out about this already, so I'm not going to go into it too deep, but please, I implore you to check it out. Implore you to check it out, because I'd like to see more issues of this, so I'm hoping it sells very well. But, you know, premiere issue and all that aside, this is actually Blab. The J.D. King cover has an 85. He wrote 85 on it, copyright 1985. But the comic itself has in Blab #1 Summer 1986. So, this is Monty Beauchamp's, Beauchamp's, I guess is how you say it. I should have looked it up again. This is, Monty has done a lot of great books. He's put together, I remember, a Krampus book, or whatever, the Christmas Devil, Santa Claus's evil doppelganger kind of thing. He was one of the early people to get on board that. He's great at researching old images and tracking stuff down like that, and just does a great job, and his books always look great. So this came out when I was a kid in the 60s. I never saw EC Comics. I was very familiar with Mad Magazine, including there were little paperbacks, reprintings of the earlier Mad comics in black and white, and so I was familiar with Mad, but I wasn't familiar with any of the other EC stuff until I guess sometime in the 70s they started reprinting them, and that's when I saw them. So by that time, I had already seen a lot of other horror comics, including Creepy and Eerie and things like that, and so EC really didn't have the lightning bolt effect on me that it did people of that age. Now, I still hear a lot of younger people who will drop everything and say, oh, these are the greatest horror comics of all time. I think they're very well done. Great art. The stories do their point. There's several reasons why I think they're great, but I don't have that kind of overwhelming enthusiasm for them that some people have. Certainly the artists were very talented. I'm not crazy about the whole a bad guy gets their ironic comeuppance, which is a lot of the stories end that way. A lot of people say they love that. They love the delicious, look how horrible what happened to this bad person is. That's not what I look for in a horror comic, actually. And the fact that they go to it so many times is kind of, and I'm not crazy about horror hosts either, to be honest. But that being said, I was totally into underground cartoonists, much younger than I should have been. I was getting hold of in the very very early days. I was getting hold of undergrounds, and this issue of Blab is all about getting the underground cartoonists to talk about how EC Comics You know, a lot of them mention Mad, obviously, but there is a lot of stuff here about how the horror comics and the war comics, just basically how all the EC comics affected them and their careers. They have this, talk here in the beginning about the EC, and they show panels from the EC comics and Kurtzman's. You know, the Kurtzman's war comics, the way these are laid out and stuff, that's some of my favorite EC stuff, because he's just got there's some real terrific stuff there. There's a Basil Wolverton piece. And then here we go. The underground cartoonists all talking about how EC Comics, again, a lot of them are mentioning Mad more than the other ones, but so many of them mention Kurtzman's chicken fat too, like Bill Griffith, who became famous for Zippy the Pinhead. They're talking Charles Dallas. I don't think he's not somebody whose name has really crept up like Bill Griffith into the, keeping his career going as far as attention goes. But Justin Green, favorite of mine. It's Rick Griffin. So basically, it's all about, there's Jay Lynch and the fanboys are somebody stop her. She's this stripper is using old ECs in her act, and they're going, somebody stop her. She's perspiring on crypt number 17. Yow, hubba hubba, take a gander at that hot Feldstein inking. Gilbert Shelton, a real favorite of mine for the Freak Brothers, but most especially for Wonder Warthog, who is one of my favorite characters. That's basically what this is. All these guys talking about it. It gets a little repetitious to hear them all talking about the same titles every time. There's Spain, of course, but because some of them don't really aren't as good at relating their memories of it as others. But I think this is a cool little magazine. Like I said, I got it back in the early days, and after I was reading this, it really did make me go back and take a second look at the EC reprints I had, because I hadn't really, I was going like, maybe I'm missing something. I still love EC Comics. I'm not trying to say, hopefully, anytime you say the least disparaging thing about the EC Comics, people think you're a horrible creature, but I do like them. Oh, yeah. There's Dennis Kitchen. And this is a lot of fun. Like I said, there's some of them just say, I really liked them. They were influential, but they don't explain how. But some of these essays are really good. And if you're a big EC fan or a big Underground fan, either way, I think this comic is worth tracking down. And this, my friends, please, if you haven't checked out Blab, the premiere issue, check out my video on it. And, I have one of those really short ones, because everyone kept saying, like, oh, the way to get viewers to come to your channel is to do those little 1 minute long shorts and put them out there. That hasn't seemed to work, but there's one of them for Blab, but I do have a longer video. Look for that longer video and check it out, okay? Have a good one.